Hi, my name is Lindsay Moeller, and this is my teaching presentation on variables. A variable in PHP is one that stores a value that can change as the program runs or executes. There are a few rules associated with naming or declaring a variable. First, the variable always has to begin with a $sign. Variables are case sensitive, which means that if you have a variable called capital product, this is a completely different variable than one with a lowercase name of $product. Variable names can contain any combination of letters, numbers, and underscores, but the names cannot contain any special characters, so no question marks, no asterisks, things like that. Variables. The fourth rule of naming variables is that after the $sign, the name must begin with a letter. So you can have numbers and underscores, but the very first letter or the very first character after the $sign has to be a letter. And then the last rule is that there are a few names you can't name your variables because these are already taken or already reserved by PHP. And one example is the variable $this. So how do we declare a variable? As mentioned with naming variables, you first need to write the $sign. And then this just lets PHP know that you are, in fact, declaring a variable. Then, without leaving any spaces, you name your variable, and you can name it whatever you decide to call it. So you could have $sign dog, or $sign total, or $sign product underscore total, something like that. And to assign a value to your variable, you write the assignment operator, which is just the equal sign, right after the variable name. So it would be $sign, your variable name equals. And then after, so this is still assigning a value. After the equal sign, you write whatever your value is, whatever you want the value of the variable to be. So it would be variable, $sign. No, that's wrong, sorry. $sign, then your variable name, then the assignment operator, or equals, and then your value. So you could have $sign total equals 10. And then, of course, you have to end the statement with a semicolon. And your variables values can be integers, strings, or booleans. However, when you are assigning a string to your variable, you must use quotes around it. So here's an example of declaring a variable. You have the $sign variable name equals, and then a value, and because this one is a string, it has quotes around it. And then this is actually the same example, just showing you two different ways that you can write it to have it be displayed. A literal is just a value that's expressed as itself. So the variable that has a value. So these examples are $sign number equals 25. That's an integer value. Again, you can have a string value or a Boolean value as well. And a constant is like a variable, except its value doesn't change after it's declared, which just means that the value can't be changed while the program is running. Constants are defined using the define function, which is just as you see it on the screen. Define, open parenthesis, the constant name, and the closing parentheses. So two things to note about constants. First is that they do not start with the $sign like a variable does. And second is that they are in all uppercase. Constants are used for storing data that won't change, so like a username or a password. And here you can see the defining of two constants, name and age. And you can also notice that there's not an equal sign. So you define, and then the constant that's all uppercase is name here, and then the value that you're assigning it is after that comma. So in this example, it's Joe, and then again, because it's a string, it has the quotation marks around it. This is the example from the very first exercise we did, and it worked by storing data as 3 variables. So in the boxes, you put in input, and it saved that as a variable. 1 variable for the product description, 1 variable for the list price, and 1 variable for the discount price. So then after you clicked calculate, the computer or the program would do the calculation, and then it would display back to you your 3 variables, which were what you determined their value in the first screen that you saw. And then it also showed you the calculation that it did, what that came out to. So, and these are just my references that I used. So if you need more information, feel free to look at them. And thanks for watching.